Go fuck yourself! You shitpaws give chase, I will kill your dicks!
What in oblivion is that?
What do you say, guys? You can just hang outside in the sun all day tossing a ball around. Or you can sit at your computer and do something that matters.
No one intervened on behalf of...
Not offended yet? Ready for something a little racier? Something more disgusting? Maybe a little more shit-faced? We're the podcast your mama warned you about. Welcome to RDS Gaming After Dark.
Good evening, and welcome to the RDS podcast After Dark, where we vent, we talk about our true feelings. And I'm not talking sparkly vampires, but the darker side of things, the less edited, which if you listen to the regular podcast and you're imagining, how can they get less edited? Well, stay tuned. We'll take you to the darkest places, and not just buttholes. But tonight, I'm joined by the darkest number of all, 0.
Hey, what's going on?
And as his name implies, the darkest source of light, Black Sun.
Fucking right. We tend to we shed the dark stuff over here.
I mean, seriously, normally, and this is just personally speaking, it's podcast night. There's people around, so I can make excuses. The drinking starts when the broadcast begins. Or 5 hours before. Whatever. Don't judge. But yeah, we tend to lose what tiny filter is left for After Dark. And we're here to entertain. So what's up, motherfuckers?
Speaking of the drinking, I did, in our little intermission, grab a fresh supply so I could keep on rolling.
Black Sun's prepared.
I thought I was initially, but then I ran short and had to get more supplies.
Oh shit.
It's all right, kids. And if you're listening, seriously, have your parents email me. We need to have a talk. Except you, Sergeant Mustard, Jesus. Colonel Mustard and Sergeant Ketchup, which Colonel Mustard, honestly, your mindset is about 12, so we should probably have a talk too. But yeah, good times all around. It was a very dark day, so, I mean, y'all get enough hints into shit, and if you listen to last episodes, you've noticed my mindset, not the healthiest. Well, apparently I shat in Jesus' Cheerios sometime this week, and he was like, nah, son, it's gonna be a bad day.
Yeah, there's no holding back for you today. They just kind of all let loose.
It's all right. It's all right. Main plan goes ahead, and I got some shit to do, which I got to figure out how all that's going to work, but I got main plans, and there's still happy days ahead. No matter what you're feeling out there, folks. And I can't claim to have experienced the worst of things. I never will. I have experienced the worst things I have experienced, which according to people much older than me is more than any human being should deal with. Sounds prideful, but I came through the other side. There are happy days. Just hold on to that. Fucking fight for it, motherfuckers.
And that's what it's all about. Don't give up hope and keep on fighting. Don't give up.
And if hope is not enough, leave a message. I will talk to you, motherfuckers. I do not care. I will. I swear. Until we are actually huge and I can't keep up with it, I will respond to everybody. That is Racer's promise. I will talk to all of you. Because I love you.
In multiple ways. Don't worry.
I'm going to need pictures before I can actually answer all that. But yeah,
You had a vivid imagination.
no,
Sometimes that's better.
no imagination is good enough. I'm sorry. Wow, there's a lull.
You would just use Zero's imagination. His is easy, and yeah, well, he's easy more so.
Yeah.
This is true. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about a lot of moral shit. We've talked about a lot of other shit. It is an interesting transition in life. Maybe it's an interesting transition for RDS. It's hard to tell at the moment, but we marshal forward.
Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
Yeah, let's pray to God the pop filter picked up that yell. Otherwise, I'm actually going to have to do some work at editing, which, yes, for everybody that's watched the YouTube videos, there's been some minor changes. It's going to keep getting better, I swear. I swear.
Only improvements ahead. At least that's the plan.
Oh, there's no choice. It's going to be improvements, but yeah. It's a fucked up world we live in, isn't it?
It really
So-
is.
All kinds of shit going on.
But you know, we got
That
Zero
and-
to respond to something unprompted. That is a sign of something.
Well,
It happens occasionally.
on occasion, yes. But on that note, yes, we live in a fucked up world, but there's also a lot of things that are good. Like, there are. Racer, you reminded me to find the beauty in things. And I don't know if I had just forgotten to do that or if I had just wanted to stop looking. But when you reminded me, it helped to reopen my eyes. And yeah, there's a lot of shitty, terrible things. But there's also still a lot of good.
Well, here's the thing. Our mind tends to travel to the dark places much easier, to fall into the valleys instead of climb to the mountaintops. But I have too many times in my life been faced with a decision to let that darkness consume you or to realize that that darkness is just a shadow cast by the light that's around you. And I will freely admit that it took an amazing person to remind me of that. That how could I bitch? How could I really sit there and look at my life and moan and bitch and whine and be like, oh, it's so hard, blah, 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 blah. It could always be worse. There is always somebody that's gone through different trials. And that's not to trivialize what anybody has gone through. It is your personal struggle. And as much as I can say that, I will still be beaten down. I will still feel bad. I will still have those moments. But I am lucky enough to have the will to strangle that darkness, to fight my way to the center of it and blow it apart and let that sunshine rain down on everything. And that's what everybody, I hope, gets to where that brightness can outweigh it, to where the setbacks aren't so overwhelming. And as long as we march arm in arm, I think we all can.
Very true.
Oh, thank God.
And
That was getting to a big moment of dead silence. And I'm like, motherfuckers, don't make me have to edit more shit than I have to. Y'all got voices. You can talk.
I was making sure that it was, yeah, there wasn't just a pause, just verifying that. Then, yeah. But I'd say I don't know about you, Zero. There's a little hurricane that this last weekend that I thought you might have been worried about. That could have caused you some misery.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of went over and it hit Ireland, right? A certain county over there where there's something that you really enjoy.
Oh shit. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, audience. Here's the moment where you realize Zero's bad at the internet.
I am. I really am. I'm terrible at the internet, to be honest.
But
I don't think they got much of it or hit real bad, but yeah, surprised you weren't a little worried about that. I know I was kind of watching it because the price definitely jumped after the last natural disaster over there from that.
it's
Yeah.
not so much. It's not so much an issue because he's got to balance that. Like the Scottish part of him is like, yeah, fuck those guys, and then the alcoholic portion of him is like, oh.
Yeah. You really did get that pretty well there, Racer.
But I can say this much because unfortunately, I'm one of those idiots when I was a teenager, took massive pride in the heritage. Never been there. I've applied for my passport. I will be there in the next 3 years. I made that promise a long time ago and it will happen. I got to live up to my actual namesake, which ain't going to happen in here. Don't make me edit shit, motherfuckers. But that's the thing about the Irish people through history is no matter how bad things get, yeah, we don't come up shining, but we survive shit.
That is true.
That's very true.
Say that would be one that I wouldn't say I at some point wouldn't mind visiting myself, since I got a stake from, well, one third from there myself.
And that's the thing. That's really everybody. I don't care what it is. Whatever personal tragedy you go through, when it's localized, it's awful. It burns worse than anything else. It's awful. And I have nothing but empathy and sympathy for you and what you went through. And there's times when I can relate, there's times when I can't, but if it causes you pain, I am 100% terribly sorry. We have to occasionally take a step back and look at things and just say, there is a greater purpose, there's a greater world. And the things that affect a million people are awful. And we have to accept that that is actually worse. It doesn't impact us personally that bad, but it's still worse in the grand scheme of things. And I still feel for the people that suffer those, that it isn't a direct impact, it's an indirect impact. And I'll worry about everybody. I want the world to be a better place. I want it to be a happier place. But maybe a tiny bit of that perspective can help heal those individual wounds.
Yeah, it's all we can do is we can do our best and try to help all that we can, or do our part in what we can and want to do, and say keep pushing forward, keep moving forward. It's not an easy choice, but just something that we all struggle with.
And I'll give a life pro tip because of not sure whether it was sarcastic or bitter, but as things are in the world, people should not necessarily fix things, but teach others.
Like that old motto, the teach someone to fish and all that.
Yeah. You can lead a retard to water, but you can't make him potato.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one.
Oh! No, sorry, my phone didn't go off. I was expecting some live hate mail from a recording. Sorry. But that's it. And that was a reminder I personally needed to remember that again, patience.
Your strong suit for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm great
Yeah,
at that.
Yeah, raise just abundance, just overflowing with patience.
And that now we got to go back. We got to take this as it is. I do have an abundance of patience. I do. As long as I don't have any plans based around it. And that's not even like I thought up a plan or thought of a plan, just like I see my life in 5 years and this is how I want it to be. And like shit is static with that. And I'm like, nope, don't have absolute control. Fuck this. It's going to irritate the shit out of me.
Yeah, it does tend to do that on occasion.
Yeah.
Here and there. It
It's
just
an
pops up
issue.
here and there.
I've made a life for myself, and I've tried to share that life with as many people as I can. As we discussed offline, if give me some notice, let me know, because when I set these plans, I want shit to work out, because I have an idea in mind. And I'll be perfectly honest, like, if I have an idea in mind, because 90% of the time, I'm right, and I can read shit, and I know how it's going to work out. If those things don't line up, then it's hugely disappointing to me. And it's not that I'm disappointed in other people, I'm disappointed in myself because I didn't accept that possibility. And like changing plans at the last minute drives me up the wall. Like, I base everything and I look at every outcome and every outplay and the consequences of these decisions. And I'm like, okay, now I have to recalculate 1,000 things on the fly. What the fuck?
Yeah, that does get to be well, it's beyond annoying, and it can become stressful at points too, depending on what it all involves. And sometimes it involves a lot, and it will become extremely stressful on top of it. I'd say I'm to that way to a degree. I not quite as in depth or whatever. I mean, I like to have my basic plan and I like to have an idea where it's going. I mean, there's some times where it's like, you know what, it doesn't matter, and I like, just whatever happens, happens. But still, I kind of plan for that to be that way, to have those whatever happens times. So there's still in the background, there's still kind of a little bit of plan there.
See, and I make plans, but where I have kids, like you can make plans and you can think them through and think them through and think them through, and then one of those kids is gonna come through and fuck that shit up. And it's not on purpose. It's just the way it is. And I think I used to be very much like Heat Racer. Like, I wanted like everything planned out. Like, this happens and this happens, so on and so forth. Just throughout like my whole week, and then as I got more kids, I realized that shit doesn't work very well for me anymore. So I've had a chance to kind of get more used to taking things on the fly and dealing with things as they come, just out of simple necessity. So that's kind of where I fall in this.
Well, I'm going to give you an example. We're not going to go into detail here. Because, no. But, I want an honest answer from Zero on this. Five years ago, did you see me being the person you saw last night?
Oh, fuck no. No, sir. I will be perfectly honest. No. Because 5 years ago, I remember the racer that said he did not want kids. Ever. I remember the racer that said he didn't think he ever wanted to be married again. I remember that too. I remember the racer that would get irritated with children. I think partially because they were loud, and another part because they're so fucking unpredictable. No, sir. No. 5 years ago? No, I did not see that. Not even a little bit, to be perfectly honest. Now, I will say this. 5 years ago, I hoped that you would become a different you. In the fact that you would change your mindset about the things that I just said, and I have seen it. I will say that. Like, I had always hoped that you would find that person that changes that, because I know for me, my wife and my kids have enriched my life so very, very much, and I want that kind of joy for my friends, for my family. Because let's face it, that's what you two are. You're family. Not blood, but you're probably closer than blood could be. And I want that for those people that are close to me. I want that enrichment. I want them to have that joy. So there's your honest answer, bud. No, I did not see it 5 years ago. I hoped that I would see it, but I did not see it 5 years ago.
And yeah, but he's one thing though. He's always been kind of he's been good with kids from since when I've known him, at least for a little bit. When I got called an asshole among other things for this, but when was the New Year's party, or how long ago was that we had with Arctic Racer?
Oh. 2 or 3 years ago.
I think 3 years ago.
Oh, no, yeah. No, it was 20... Jesus, yeah. It was at least 3 years ago, because it was before I had the Mustang, the first Mustang.
Well, say another thing is how old was Arctic's little one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was not that old.
But I actually have pictures of Racer more or less playing with her and having fun with her.
Oh no, I'm not going to say Racer wasn't good with children. He was.
Yeah, but he had a smile on his face. He was enjoying himself also.
And that's the thing, and I guess that's the point I want to make to everybody out there in TV land is don't define yourselves because to be perfectly honest, I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life. I've dealt with a lot of loss in my life. And not being able to be there in 100 different ways. It is more raw than anything else. So don't expect that the you are today is the you will be tomorrow. And know that there is never a time in your life when you can't start over. Like, I know what I want. I know how things can work out. And that is where my lack of patience comes in is, all right, I got this shit figured out. Why the rest of the world being retarded? And it gets easier and harder when 99% of the rest of the world is like, nah, that's cool, we get it. You right. But sit on standby.
Yeah, you gotta love those times. Well, that's the thing. I never say going off that though. I never expected or planned on being in where I am right now and doing what I am right now. It was not in the plans. Not initially. Not until not very long ago. I mean, granted, it was well, it's been six years ago or whatever. But I mean, it was 5 year delay in it. But I mean, before that, there was no plan in none of this whatsoever.
There's one very important part to that.
Hmm.
Oh, good. There are people that have always known you were destined for greater things.
Yeah, I'd say I guess I never really doubted that. I guess I wasn't for sure how far it would go. I knew I would do something in that, but I never pictured pushing and going for this big of a change and trying for this much. But say with say support of others and whatnot. I mean, I'm here and I'm doing it. It's not easy and it's a struggle every day. I mean, it was beginning off. It wasn't that bad. It was all right. Let's rock and roll. Let's keep going. And it gets more difficult and whatnot. But that's I mean that was my choosing and the way I chose to do what I want to do. And I didn't want to fuck around. And I'm just going for it, balls out. And say it's gonna be troublesome in this struggle at times, but that's when you gotta try and dig down deep and push with all you got to get it done and accomplish it.
Hey, look at it this way. You are paying good money for somebody to mildly promise you a future. All of you, all of you have agreed that I, Racer, is the best person to lead you into a future. You have to feel better that somebody else was like, yeah, I'll do that, but Brock, give me some money.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like we
you are a little
got
cheaper.
metrics. We got proof that this shit works. You can follow this guy, but we gonna give you some skills and shit. He's just like, yeah, it'll work. Just believe it. Have that in your heart. And they're like, nah, we've done this before. It'll work out. Trust us. Like, I'm not saying everybody else is an idiot. I'm just saying everybody else might be an idiot. But that's the thing, and I don't care who you are, where you are, whatever your walk of life is. The second, the second you get angry, the second you question somebody else that isn't doing something unhealthy to improve their life, is the second you need to take a moment for introspection. And yes, at the worst times when I've been falling apart, I have called people that have no reason to stop what they're doing to lift me back up. As the idiot that is supposed to be leading these people forward.
Yeah, but when those calls are made, the people that matter, they answer.
Well, you know how bad it is when I make a phone call. Like, I am a goddamn 95-year-old. Phones are terrifying. You pick that fucker up, it's going to steal your soul.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why when I did say I answered here a few weeks back, and I was like, oh, all right. Did I forget something, or what is going on here?
Yeah,
And
and
yeah, it tried stealing your soul.
for all of you that are worried about that, a convenient excuse, cell phone charger. Just saying.
Yeah, no, mine was full, good to go.
And on the sideline of that, the person that actually owned that used that as an excuse. Now, I got my moral issues with that person, but still, end of the day, they were there. But don't. I guess the point of this After Dark episode, following up on yesterday's episode of the RDS podcast, you feel that? You feel that knife digging in the RDS podcast?
It does feel good.
Trust in those around you. Trust in those you can believe in. Be they a massively flawed leader, because if every bit of literature and anime and modern fucking movie making has shown me anything, it's that a flawed leader has a chance. But they don't exist because of these great qualities. They don't exist because they are so much above anyone. They exist only in the context of their leading good people, great people. And anybody that doesn't fit that can go to hell.
I'm saying that goes back to, I mean, that goes back to something that I guess I learned some time ago now, but it's you surround yourself with good and like-minded people. Some some that's not good. They're not good people to begin with, but for you, I mean, surround yourself with good people and you will prosper from it. Everybody will prosper, not just you, but you will all prosper. And that's part of what we're doing here. I mean, we're all like-minded. We're and like Zero said, I mean, we at this point we are family, and we all prosper and we get strength and grow from each other nowadays. Have since the beginning, really.
Oh no, we want to take this down to brass tacks at the origin. I wouldn't be here right now. The bullshit you have all had to deal with for the last year and a half would not exist if it wasn't for you faggots.
Yeah, and say it could even go back further than that at times, I believe.
Oh no, the
Which is
origin of it goes back further than that. But what I've made it through to date, and again, I feel like a prick every time I say it. Even with examples held up to me by the people I respect the most. Which, there's no good way to say it. I've dealt with a lot of shit. A lot of shit. A lot of shit I hope none of you ever go through. And again, life pro tip for everybody out there. If a friend of yours, a family member of yours comes to you and they're like, I am dealing with this, being like, oh, I know, I dealt with this. No, do not do that. But many years ago, you folks, Zero, Black Sun, Arctic, Lady HK, Dirt, all of you were the sunshine that burned away the clouds that was my life. There was nothing else that made anybody else see hope. There's nothing else that made anybody else see brightness in my life. But when I talked about you motherfuckers, there was a sparkle in my eye. And I had not met 3/4 of you. But y'all were the bright spot.
say not at that point, but we've all kind of come together. Still, I'd say I'm still kind of. I need to get old Dirt or whatever. See once because I'm actually kind of close to him now, and haven't heard from him in a while. And I heard he was actually getting married too, by the way.
Oh, Jesus. Well, good for him. But yeah. That's the point, man. Like, I guess we maybe improperly named it After Dark, but it's the raw, brutal honesty.
Yeah, I'd say it's not always dark and descending and all that, but it's still like you said, it's a raw truth, no bullshit, and it's here you go, right there, take it or leave it. I mean, that's just the way it is. We're giving it to you straight.
Well, sometimes the truth is that dark place, but sometimes the truth can lead you from that dark place. And I think that's what's important.
That's kind of the point where that's what we try to do, anyways. I know with each other, that's sometimes we're blunt and ugly, and it's not all flowers and hey, you got any cocaine? No, it's here it is, and deal with it. Just straightforward, and this is it. You're either gonna deal with it, you're gonna realize it, you can move forward, become better, whatever, or you're gonna get lost in the darkness.
See, I think that's part of the problem. I think so many people are okay with getting lost in the darkness because that road to being happy or being a better person or realizing that you're capable of more than what you think you are, that's the hard road. And it's not the fun road.
Oh no, not at all, and it's a downright struggle. I mean, trying, let alone trying to do the right thing and everything else. I mean, it's easier to take. I mean, like I said, the easy road, the easy path. I mean, without fighting against that whatever is holding you down or holding you back, it's it's not going to be the easy way. It's going to take some effort, some work, blood, sweat, tears, whatever it takes. You're going to have to put it forward and make that effort. If not, then it may be easier, but it's not going to be may not be better in the end. Most likely not.
Yeah. Well, like a couple of weeks ago, Racer ripped me a new asshole because I, in the past, have had a real bad tendency of cutting myself down and thinking I'm not smart enough to do this, or I'm not good enough for this, or I don't deserve that. Like he ripped my ass bad, and sometimes it takes hearing it from the real. I don't. I know my wife is gonna do it. You can change the way you think. You can change your perspectives. You can be better. You just have to be willing to do it.
No, to say no doubt there. I mean, I dealt my first big hurdle. I mean, say I dealt with a lot before, and the first big jump or hurdle that I had to get through. I got to the point where I mean, I actually came to the conclusion on myself to make the first big one, and it took me a long time to do that. And I finally was like, you know what? Wait a minute, no, this isn't right. But it took many years to get to that point. It's not a natural step. And say, especially when you got others telling you what you're thinking, and that has drove you to that point, and that makes it all the worse. But saying that's what we are here for, though. That's the family that we are, though. We try to remind each other what we are, how good we are, and what we can do, and what we're going to do. Really, I mean, we keep holding each other up and pushing each other forward. That is what family is about, and what it's, I guess, the meaning of it. One of the meanings of it is. We kind of
Look,
left you out there a little bit, Racer.
no, that's all right. I am going to state this once and for all, and for everybody out there. You are included in this. Everybody wants to talk some shit. And I had a fucked up family growing up, so I understand a broader scope of this idea than many people. Again, not asking for comparisons, not asking for competition, anything else. What is most commonly quoted is blood is thicker than water. That is improper. The full quote, which I absolutely adhere to. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which 100% states the family you choose matters more than the family you are born into. RDS is a family. Those of us that participate, those of you that watch, those of you that comment, those of you that ask questions. I ask little of anyone. I have been put on the spot, directly and indirectly. If you want to talk to me personally, I will recount the things I have done with zero expectation, or with the expectation of suffering because of it. The people that are here, the voices you hear, the message you hear, are all based on that same idea. that you are family, that you matter, that we care. Not for $1, not for a like, not for a subscribe. Fuck all that. This is the first episode you listen to, you reach out. This is the last episode you listen to, you reach out. The world is a family. Those that I don't care for, that have proven anathema to my ideas, my morals, my values, they're a neighbor, because we are all neighbors. Those that do not possess that, those that are not evil, you are family. I would do anything for you I could. Those that I love, I would do so much more for. But stand up. Be recognized. Do the right thing. Find your family. Find those people you love. And fuck everything else. At worst, it's an experience. At best, your true family grows.
Yeah, I'd say can't agree with that more. I mean, that's just say mine's grown. The experience, it's unforgettable. I mean, it's just you can't beat it. Once you find it, there's just nothing else that compares because it goes above and beyond. Well, there's a little bit of editing. I'd say there's not much more I guess I can say beyond that though. I mean, it's just that's what it comes down to. Just brutal honest, that's what it is, and that's where if you can find it, I mean, there's nothing better.
I know that the family that I have chosen has enriched the life of myself and my wife and my children. And that is such an amazing feeling. It is undescribable, to be perfectly honest. And I could never possibly thank these people enough.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I remember, the one for you when first her and I first met and whatnot was like, oh, and well, you must be Black Sun. I'm like, mm-hmm, and then just didn't there wasn't much there, and then through getting to know each other and everything else, realized our common traits or whatever, just what we had there together and what it grew into, and realized why we're all drawn to each other and why we are what we are. I know she was a little skeptic in the first time meeting there and was wondering.
Oh, my missus?
Yes, yes,
The one?
yes. That's why I said the one, or
Yeah.
you're the one.
Yes, the one.
I currently don't have the one, so yeah. You're currently the only one here with the one.
That's all right. Because I am sure that you two will both find you're the one.
Hopefully in due time. That's the general plan, anyways. We'll see how that all comes to fruition.
Yeah.
That's the hardest one of the plans to plan for and to make happen.
Well, honestly, if I could say there was a plan, a way that it worked out, I would probably be the one that knew it by now. I mean, am I wrong?
No, that's why I didn't bother trying to argue with you.
Black Sun?
No. And like I said, I've tried to plan that one more than once myself, and it's not really one that you can really plan. Even though I have definitely tried myself. Something about that one. That plan is always the one that is just a bitch. I don't know. I don't. Let's say when it comes to that, or say when with all this, that's pretty much it for me, I guess.
Well, Racer, you have anything else super insightful to add for us tonight?
It is. You can't give advice to everyone. You can't fix everything. You can't make everything right. No matter what your influence is, no matter how capable you are. And I freely admit, I make myself needed. I will learn things, I will do things, I will research things to make myself be needed, to feel like I belong, to feel like I'm needed, to give myself purpose. The bright side to all of that self destructive behavior, because it is. If you're a person like me out there in TV land, let me tell you, from fucking 13 to 40, that is, fuck, to 70, that is destructive behavior. Doesn't necessarily mean everything you gain through that behavior is destructive. I have found people that care more. They don't have to have the answers. You may not be looking for them. You may know you won't find them. But these people will still be 100% supportive no matter what you do. Understand those people will be that source of support. When you look at someone else and you wish to Christ that they would be there, remember, there are people that are there. They might not have the answers. They may not be able to fix things. But that doesn't mean they're not there. Don't forget the fact just because you put yourself in a position to solve every problem, that there is always going to be somebody there that can do that. Not every problem has a solution. And yes, there are days when hope isn't enough. But tomorrow will always be another day. And that tiny bit of hope that was enough on day 1 but wasn't enough on day 13, that hope might be enough on day 14, and the whole situation may change. The only thing I can absolutely guarantee you is if on day 13 hope isn't enough, if you give up, then the answer that may come on day 14 will never have an opportunity to occur. So even if it isn't what you want, even if it isn't what you're looking for, on day 13, look to all of those people that you've surrounded yourself with. Yes, everybody is flawed. They will misstep. They may make you angry and frustrated at points. But look to those people. Because while they may not remove the river, they will be the life raft. And follow through and fight through the next day. Because that little bit of hope will come again. That inspiration will come again. And if you have made yourself so important to so many lives, and you are lucky enough to have the chance to lead even one person forward, there's a person that's going to need it on day 15 and day 190 and 380 and 1045. And every one of those people, while you see yourself as dragging them up and dragging them forward through a not plan, through a non-deep anything else, through no other words, just by themselves, in their own mindset, and their own words, their own actions, they will drag you forward too. Trust in that, if nothing else. The world is a wonderful, beautiful place. Despite its pain, despite the suffering, despite everything else, it is a wonderful and beautiful place. And tomorrow holds more than yesterday did. Tomorrow holds more than today did. And once you get to that point where today is as beautiful as tomorrow and more beautiful than yesterday ever could be, the one thing you have to thank is the people around you that got you to that day. So hold on. You don't need hope. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's I can't agree with that sentiment more. We've all experienced that here.
Those are good words, man.
They may not be blatantly obvious, but in hindsight, retrospect, it becomes more obvious. You see it, and you can hold on to that and move forward, and continue to hold on to that and realize that.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I got for my final statement.
That's a good final statement. I think that's a real good place to end this on, man. Like those were real good words to end this, I think.
Can't get much more meaningful than that.
All right. Well, folks, that's the RDS podcast after dark. Leave your questions, comments, and, well, let's face it, the ideas of whether I'm sane or not in the comments below. But I do want to thank everybody for listening, hanging out. That's right, Sergeant Ketchup, that goes to you. But seriously, reach out, folks. I'm almost always here. And we'll see you next week. One way or another. We'll see you.